raining outside, but that's not unusual. But the way that I'm feeling's become unusual.
What's good, beautiful people? Chef Mo, back again. I'm looking a little sketchy today because I'll show you over here. It's laundry day. And I'll tell you something. If there's one thing, let me get this set up straight. If there's one thing that I want remembered about me until the end of time, it's basically I hate doing laundry. I hate it. I hate it with all my being. Yet here I am every 2 weeks. Gotta do laundry. I'll cook, I'll clean, but laundry ain't my thing. So I figured that this episode is gonna be a little bit different. They all, I guess, have been different so far because I really haven't come up with any kind of structure for this sort of thing yet. But I've kind of been following like things that I've been doing kind of that relate to me and stuff like this in all these episodes, right? I've planned a few, but this one kind of came out of the blue at me, and it was kind of going into retrospect about, you know, my time. So, barring saying all that, before I get into what this episode is going to be about and what you're going to see today, I wanted to give you an update on me. So, we last left off in January where it was really, really slow. We then come to February. And February, I kind of really hit the blues bad. I kind of touched on it in the last episode that I was kind of down. But February was a real rough one. I spent most of my time in my pajamas. I did get some work. I was working at Ville Catering. Shout outs to Kelly and Chef and all the fun people over at Ville who I spent 2 weeks with there. But, you know, when I go home at night, I felt really down, kind of really alone. I didn't have much money, which made everything a ton worse, as always, right? They say money can't buy happiness, but Poe can definitely make you grumpy. So it was like that. It was kind of a struggle for a bit. The good thing is I could walk to work, so I wasn't spending money there, and everything kind of worked out. Now things are getting better, but I didn't really shoot anything. I didn't really have any confidence in what I was doing. I was kind of figuring out where to go. The two jobs that I was talking about before too, that I said, hey, I'm going to give you like shout outs to those. Well, I'm not going to give shout outs to those because unfortunately both of them really didn't work out for different various reasons. I think a lot of it came down to, let's just say it was not being me at the right time. I remember I always like to stay positive in these things, so I'm just going to say that, you know, I wish them the best, both those places. I won't speak their name. So that's just kind of how it gets. They don't get the old shout outs and the deuces from your boy Chef Mo, unfortunately, but that's on them. They don't get to take part in this funness, which hopefully will do something. So yeah, February was kind of a huge downer. So which brings me to the topic of this one, which really goes into depression. I'm gonna kind of give a little talk about. I'm gonna kind of open up a bit. I think I'm gonna try to, you know, give kind of a reasons for all of the downer. I recently, I wrote a video essay, which I think I'm gonna put into this. I'm not too sure yet. This one's gonna kind of get produced kind of weird and kind of out of sync. You guys are probably all gonna see it and it'll all be cool and everything like that. But for me, unfortunately, this one's gonna be kind of weird. But I do have this video essay that I kind of wrote about depression in the industry because it happens a lot of the time. So anyway, back to this video essay. So I started planning this video essay. It's all about kind of depression in the industry and things like this. Just kind of like a brief kind of overview. I recently got in touch with some people from a Facebook group, and they have a website too called Chefs with Issues. They might be a part of this too. Hopefully they will. They were a wealth of resource when I started writing the kind of initial script for the video essay that I got done. So we're gonna do about that. So I've been debating about what to do about this whole episode as it is. Whether I actually want to, discuss my own personal problems with it. I've been debating that a lot. I'll give you guys a bare bones sort of a thing. So, maybe about 5 months ago, broke up with a live-in girlfriend. We'll start there, just because other than that, it gets too deep and, whatever. But recent history, for the purpose of the story and a little bit of background so that you understand the story. So about 5 months ago, broke up with a live-in girlfriend. It just wasn't working out, unfortunately. She has her own issues, and she kind of is on her own journey. And she knows who she is, probably, because she'll probably watch this. And she knows that I wish her luck. And I totally wish you luck. I hope that, it all works out and you get the help that you need for the problems that you have. But, back to your hero of the story. It put a lot of stress on me the entire time that she was here. The breakup was needed, but at the same point in time kind of knocked me down a peg for a bit, and at the same time I lost my job. Now they say that there are 3 things that people go through that are the most stressful in their lives. Usually relates to work, so finding a job, losing a job, stuff like this, a relationship, and moving house. Right? Those 3 things. Death is also thrown in there too. But of things that can happen to you, those are the 3 things. Now, not to toot my own horn, but I happen to be a seasoned pro at dealing with multiple of them at the same time, usually. It's kind of the charm of my existence in life. So this time I was dealing with the girlfriend, and I quit my job. So I was head chef at a restaurant. And I straight up quit my job. And it made me think a lot about doing this whole cooking thing, whether I had decided I made the right choice, whether I was doing what I wanted to do. It was rough for a while. So I quit my job without any sort of backup plan or anything like that, because the owner screwed me out of some pay. And I was done for it. Luckily, I started doing this, and I started, working at Marigold and Onions, which you saw. And that kind of renewed kind of the feeling that what I was doing as a job was a good thing, which has kept me doing the freelance thing, and it started me doing this, which, is the positive of the story. But right around my birthday in January, I got a lot of phone calls from a lot of people who I kind of didn't want to, and it brought up a whole bunch of old kind of crap. Which, the problem with depression and stuff like that is that it tends to fester, right? If you don't, kind of take care of it or do something about it or something like this, right? And with me being unemployed and spending a lot of my time alone, it festered pretty bad indeed. So February got really rough. Luckily, I'm dealing with things better now. But, that's what made February really bad, and that's what made me decide to do this, because I'm sure that I'm not the only person that goes through this. in reading in my research, I found out, which I'll present in the thing, suicide rates through the roof. Drug and alcohol abuse is almost a cliche in this industry, just because of the hours and the work and the access. Another one is the access. I have gotten out of drinking recently, which has been kind of good. I still smoke way too much pot, which maybe part of this will be a thing about doing drugs. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out. But yeah, so I stopped drinking. A lot of it was the ex-girlfriend's help, and seeing going through her problems. That kind of helped big time when it came to, figuring out that I didn't really want to drink so much anymore. Plus I haven't had money. So you can't afford to drink, you can't drink. So, but yeah, I think I might do something about that. But I mean, the problems in this industry like that are huge. And I figured that, maybe presenting, and the other one was, the big one that kind of made me think about this episode was my boy, Rosen. I am a huge Raptors fan. This is our year. This is our year for all you people. This is the year we're going to do it. But he was going through some personal problems, and he sent out a tweet about how hard it was to kind of deal with this sort of thing. And it started a huge dialogue among the NBA sort of people, around people who like basketball, about depression. Head coaches are now, due to the stress and aggravation of their job, are starting to, bound together. But he was saying that, this head coach from the NBA was even saying that depression among head coaches is going to be the number one story you hear about next season. And that's probably true. And it's any job that has that sort of crazy amounts of stress. Stress is hard to deal with. Stress is hard to cope with. People find different ways to do it. I, had to come up with literal brain philosophies to get myself out of things. One of them, which I think I'll probably say later, is to remember, it keeps you humble, to remember that in 8 hours, anything I'm going to do is going to become poop. It really is. Yeah. Literally, it's going to become poop. So you got to take a step back. You got to not carry stuff home with you and things like this. But when you work such a high stress job and things like this, those sorts of things can get to you. I've been at times shell-shocked where I have this 40-yard stare, I call it. It's a combined level of like exhaustion and malnutrition and not eating, and where I just literally stare off into the distance. And I'm not staring at anything in particular. It's just the brain's gone blank. You know what I mean? Like everything in there is gone blank. And that's just due to shell shock. You know what I mean? It's due to just like the constant grind of doing like a service even, right? After about 3 or 4 hours of trying to like keep tabs on everything and make everything happen, your brain goes a little swirly. It's part of the reason why I smoke and have had a hard time quitting smoking. I'm sorry, Mom. I'm sorry, Mom. The good thing is that I'm not going to hear about this for at least a month from the time I'm recording it. But I still am trying to quit, I promise. But yeah, I leave to go smoke because it's the only thing I can be like, no, I'm leaving, fuck you. And I can pull the ripcord and get out. And 5 minutes is all I need. And then I can probably go back. But I'm tough. I'm tough. I've done a lot of it. I've seen people tap out way early. You know what I mean? Who just can't take it. Who just go nuts. And, that's part of it, right? So that's why I decided to make this whole episode about the dealings of mental health issues. I don't know, like I say, I don't know what it's going to be yet. I don't know what it's going to be about. But it's a thing. It's going to be a thing. But I decided that it was better to kind of maybe raise the issue and maybe, putting in comments, which I strongly encourage all of you to do. Please start commenting. You know, if you have a story that you want to tell, say it. If you're just feeling down, be like, just say, I'm sad. And I'm sure that you'll get a lot of people who will give you that positive reinforcement. And sometimes that's all it takes. I think that's honestly why I'm doing this whole vlog all together, is because I just kind of want some feedback. I just kind of want, you know, people to acknowledge. Even when I did the interview with Ash, that was the one thing that he was so thankful about after I did that interview with him, and I showed him, you know, the final product, which you saw last week. Yeah, he was just thankful that somebody had, you know, acknowledged. And that's why I say in the first episode, dude, if you have a good meal, give your compliments to the chef, like through the server, or even if it's an open kitchen, just shout a thank you over it if they're not busy, because you might get your head barked off. But, you know, those things are the things that, you know, will get you through. I've had the shittiest day, and one comment like that makes you get through. So hopefully this will raise some more of those positive comments, which will raise some more positivity, which will hopefully get, you know, somebody who's not feeling so good right now, who's working in a kitchen somewhere, maybe make them feel better. And if that happens, then that's probably the coolest thing that could possibly happen, right? So, with that being said, and I actually kind of feel a whole lot better right now. I was really nervous about shooting this thing, I'm not gonna lie to you. And now that I kind of opened up a bit, I kind of feel better about the whole thing. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna, you know, kind of end this here. There'll be another segment coming up right about now, so check it out. Do a quick Google search for chef depression, and it'll yield almost 17 million results. An article by a British trade union said that 69% of chefs feel that their stressful work environment has a direct effect on their mental and physical well-being. Early days, late nights, long hours, it all comes into play. Kitchen life is one that's built on self-neglect and impoverishment. It's a business built on some unconventional and often shady employment arrangements. As quoted by an article for TVO, veteran chef Deborah Reed was quoted as saying, "Proper wages, access to benefits, everything that goes into making a person feel secure and stable is treated with disregard in our industry, and it's widespread," Reed says. I have wondered what is the root of all that. If you look at the number of people who have abandoned the industry after 10 years of dreaming and hoping, you'll think you'll find a level of depression there too. She ended up leaving the industry after 16 years because she couldn't see herself working in a place where the core business foundation was neglect. For a working chef, the industry can seem like a meat grinder. The strive for constant perfection, the constant fast pace and dangerous environment, combined with the often low monetary reward, lack of health benefits, and overall job insecurity, can quickly turn talented, enthusiastic chefs bitter, angry, and self-doubting, leading into a myriad of mental illnesses. If you're a chef, it's almost guaranteed that you will experience depression, anxiety, and substance abuse at some point in your culinary career, either in your own life or in somebody you work with. It's no secret. It's a rough life being a working cook. So, you decide to cast off the shackles and become an owner. Well, it only gets worse. Restaurants are expensive to run and expensive to operate. Profit margins are often razor thin, especially in high-end restaurants. Combine that with the constant pressure for perfection from yourself and those around you to appeal to picky customers in a very cutthroat industry. It's a gamble, and it oftentimes ends up costing owners their livelihood and their family's security. And the further you go in your culinary career, the worse it gets. Food pages can often seem like obituaries, listing suicides and accidental overdoses of high-profile chefs who succumb to their demons.
In an article in the Daily Beast, it lists popularized issues with several celebrity chefs, including Gordon Ramsay's DUI charges and well-documented cocaine dose of his sous chef, the former heroin use of Anthony Bourdain, and even the suicides of chefs Hiromo Cantu and Colin Devlin. I read their stories in an article literally titled, "Being a Celebrity Chef Can Kill You." Sometimes, it's the coping mechanisms that are the problem. After a long day in front of a hot stove and a hectic kitchen, a cold beer or a cocktail can often seem like the perfect solution. But that can be a slippery slope. It can be hard to resist the temptation of that free after-shift drink, which turns into 2 or 3, and then the next thing you know, you got a party on your hands on a Tuesday night. And then it turns into the same thing, night after night, week after week. It can quickly escalate in substance abuse. And unfortunately, it's up to the individual to seek help for this. But there is help. Rehabilitation centers exist in some places and is covered under some health insurances. I know where I live in Ontario, there are many specialized institutions that can help you if you have substance abuse, providing detoxification and rehabilitation, free of charge. But it's up to the individual to seek and make that change and seek out the help for themselves. Personally, I've dealt with a lot of these problems. Possibly the biggest thing that we can do is start talking about it. We all have these issues. And if we support each other, we can lift the whole team up. And in kitchens, that's probably the most important thing that you learn is the value of teamwork.
So that's the episode. One group that I want to give a big shout out to, who I didn't get a chance to actually include them in the piece, was a website called chefswithissues.com. I went there, and that's where I got a lot of the resources I used for the little bit at the end there about, kind of dealing with depression and stuff like that. I strongly suggest you go check them out if you're just looking to, learn about some stuff, whatever. If you're having issues, please get some help. It's not weak to ask for help sometimes. I'm going to put a bunch of links also in the comments for places that you can kind of look to get rehabilitation for substance abuse or dealing with depression and stuff like that. So take a look down there if you're looking for resources and things to do. I promise that the next episode is going to be a lot more fun. But for now, let's stick together because that's the only way we're going to make it better. Teamwork makes the dream work, and I can't think of any more rhymes that go along in that sort of vein. If you can, put them in the comments. How about that? I always ask you for YouTube comments and stuff on these things, right? But yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for watching this for episode 3 of Chef Life. I'm out. Deuces. As always, Chef Mo.
Hey, did you like that video? Well, if you did, check out some of these other videos. Or if you want to get updated on the new stuff, subscribe to the channel. If you want all the new information, just visit chefmotoronto.com.